According to the arrest report, Dr. Richard Seith not only works here at Treasure Coast Eye Specialists in Stewart, he also owns this business. The arrest report says before he allegedly killed his ex-wife, he was involved in a pattern of stalking her in the year leading up to the finalization of their divorce.
Shocked. I'm sad for him. You know, it's a shame.
God, never ever would I have expected that.
Patients of ophthalmologist Dr. Richard Seith, who were coming to his office in Stewart for appointments Monday, found it hard to believe he's been arrested for first-degree murder and the shooting death of his ex-wife, Cynthia Seith, a Spirit Airlines flight attendant. Sheriff's detectives say she was shot once in the head and her body was found on a sidewalk near her Lake Worth condo shortly before 3:30 in the morning last Tuesday, July 15th. Her car keys were in her hand and she was wearing her flight attendant's uniform. Seith's patients say he seemed so level-headed.
I really liked the man. He was thorough. He did a great job on my eye surgery. He was congenial. I was shocked, actually. Totally shocked.
According to the arrest report, Dr. Richard Seith and Cynthia finalized their divorce May 5th, and, quote, Seith owed her approximately $250,000 and the condominium at Lucerne Lakes as part of the divorce settlement. Doorbell surveillance video shows Cynthia arriving home at 11:43 last Monday night, and dashboard camera video from her car shows she was shot about 4 minutes later. The shooter was just out of camera range. However, minutes before the murder, Dr. Seith's orange Jeep Wrangler was captured on surveillance video on the clubhouse surveillance camera inside Cynthia's neighborhood, and his orange Jeep was seen leaving the neighborhood a few minutes after the murder. An individual who knew the couple told detectives Richard and Cynthia's marriage was a, quote, escalating pattern of emotional and psychologically abusive behavior. The individual told detectives, quote, one of those behaviors was sexual coercion, in which Richard Seith demanding that Cynthia Seith swing with other sexual partners, which she was not comfortable doing, especially with strangers. And Richard Seith promised he'd pay for her medically necessary dental care if she would agree to these intimate relations. One of Dr. Seith's ex-girlfriends told Cynthia Seith she should, quote, run from Richard Seith. The arrest report says Dr. Seith once told Cynthia he had considered killing his ex-wife during his first divorce, but he did not because he didn't want his adopted son to become an orphan again. Detectives served a search warrant at Dr. Seith's office, Treasure Coast Eye Specialists, on July 17th and found a revolver, a rifle, and a device that converts a Glock handgun into a short-barreled rifle and ammunition in his desk.
I mean, this is just very sad. This poor woman was only 2 days away from turning 55. She still had so much life ahead of her until this tragic event ended it all. For context, the couple's contentious divorce was finalized in May, less than 2 months before Sciarrone-Seith's death at the hands of her husband, Dr. Richard Seith. Seith had been ordered to pay his ex-wife $250,000, plus pay off the mortgage on her Lake Worth condo, a total of about $285,000. The payment was due at the end of July. What's even more troubling is that on July 15th, an anonymous tip came in. It said he had been stalking his ex-wife, and that he had even fired gunshots at places where she stayed. And I have to ask, why didn't the police do more when that tip came in, instead of just keeping, quote, a tab on him? According to the doctor's arrest warrant, his cell phone records matched surveillance footage of his movements. His phone also showed that just hours before she was shot, he had been searching Spirit Airlines departure times. He had also purchased a subscription for a tracking device, then canceled it shortly after the shooting. Regarding his swinger lifestyle, his lawyer argues that people's personal activities are different, but that doesn't make them criminal. He says deputies are wrong for linking the divorce to her death because, according to him, he doesn't owe her anything. This whole case is just a mess. We'll get more information once the trial begins. As of now, he has been charged with first-degree murder for the death of his ex-wife, Sciarrone. And if the real motive behind this was the divorce settlement, honestly, this guy has to be one of the dumbest doctors alive. He could have made that money back in just a few years instead of risking the rest of his life behind bars. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, please stay safe.